What is up, everyone? It's Paul, aka 90s Handheld Gamer here, and I recently made a whole video on the channel talking about why the Nintendo Switch 2 is getting inferior physical media compared to the Nintendo Switch 1. And that also got me thinking of another topic, and that is, could Nintendo Switch 2 game keycards cause physical Nintendo Switch 1 games to become more valuable, more sought after, possibly more rare and expensive? And I do think there is a strong possibility of that, especially for some of these games that are getting both Nintendo Switch 2 game keycard editions and standard Nintendo Switch 1 versions that will be coming all on the cartridge. If you look at something like Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered, this got a game key card physical for the Switch 2, if you could really call that a physical, in Japan only so far. I don't know if it's coming here to the US, it probably is, but the Nintendo Switch 1 version is all on the cartridge, ready to play without any internet or download, any of that required. And physical collecting is bigger than it's ever been. I know a lot of people like to say that physical collectors are the minority. These game companies aren't going to care anything about people complaining about the physicals because the average consumer doesn't care about all that. But I don't know if that's true, because the Switch 1 had historic physical game sales, software game sales, and I don't think that's going to carry over to the Switch 2 without the strong presence of physical game collectors. Because for the Switch 1, physical game collectors were basically buying any and every RPG that came to the console, and a lot of games as well. And even a recent example of this is Raiden Remastered. I talked about that in the last video. It's going to be coming to the Switch 2 via a game key card, and it's going to have the higher performance and everything. But I know on the last video I did, people have been commenting on that video saying they're just going to go for the Switch 1 version because it's a true physical, despite it having lower resolution and frame rates and all that. So there are definitely some people out there that truly do prefer, you know, having the game all on the cartridge. And I agree, I feel the same way. I can't say I'm 100% against the game key card thing. I can say that I don't like it, and I will definitely be buying a lot less third-party games for the Switch 2 myself because of that. It's just not something I'm too fond of. If it's a game that I feel like I just can't miss out on, I will go ahead and get the game key card for Switch 2, because I do 99% of playing video games on handhelds, on the Nintendo Switch, a little bit on the 3DS. That's the reason why I haven't bothered getting a PS5 or, you know, a Series X or any of that, because I really wouldn't play them much. I mean, I have a bunch of great GameCube games, Wii games, PS3 games that I would love to get to at some point, but right now, life is just a bit too busy for me, and the handheld gaming consoles are absolutely lifesavers for me. So I think that this whole game key card situation will probably get some people to just lock in even more on the Nintendo Switch physical collecting, and, you know, just buy up all the games they want on there. So I definitely think that, yeah, I definitely think this could have an effect on Switch 1 games actually becoming more sought after by collectors and gamers who just want to have their curated collections like myself. You know, there's different levels of collecting. You got your hardcore collectors who just want to buy and have everything. And then you have your curated collectors like me who do want to have a nice collection of games, but mainly just games that, you know, we want to play or that we have played and want to keep in the collection. But how do you feel about the whole game key card situation? Or is it stopping you from wanting to get a Switch 2? Is it making you want to just collect the Switch 1 games more? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, since I have the platform and the opportunity here, I just want to clear up a few things about the Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards. But before I get into that, I just want to ask, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel and drop a like on this video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. But as far as these Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards go, you know, there's a lot of people that still think that, you know, it's just completely tied to your account and it's basically a code in the box. That's not true about it. You can still resell these games, trade them, you know, let friends borrow them. So it is a little bit better than just digital, but still not a great option and still something that's not really cutting it for physical collectors. I mean, it is a little bit better. I mean, you get the case and everything that you can hold up still, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that is the whole situation regarding these game key cards, and also the fact that a lot of people are thinking all Nintendo Switch 2 games are going to be game key cards. I think it's pretty much a lock that first-party Nintendo games will be coming all on the cartridge, as Mario Kart World is, so is Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I think we'll just continue to see that with all first-party Nintendo Switch 2 games. So Nintendo is at least putting all their games on the cartridge, and their whole reasoning for coming out with the game key cards for third-party developers was the fact that they wanted to future-proof their console. In their own words, this is what they said, because a lot of these big third-party game file sizes exceed the size of their 64 gigabyte cartridges. But going back to, you know, me talking about how the game key cards could cause Nintendo Switch 1 games to be more valuable, I definitely think that's a valid thing that is very possible, could happen. I think it will happen, actually. And I just want to make a little announcement here that I will be coming out with, you know, at least a couple more of these Nintendo Switch games to buy before rare and expensive videos, because I know a lot of you all like those videos. I will be talking about some newer release titles on those, and also going back a little bit and mentioning games that I haven't talked about in a while that are already going up in value, or that I think have a strong chance of going up in value. Now, that stuff is just speculation. You know, there is a company out there called Video Games Plus that does reprints, but I've noticed that even after they reprint a lot of these games, once they sell out, they're still going for above MSRP on the resale market when you can't find them brand new anymore. So I think that topic of Nintendo Switch games to buy before rare and expensive is still gonna be relevant. I thought we'd be past it with the Nintendo Switch 2, you know, coming and getting physical games, but now it looks like, so far at least, the Nintendo Switch 2 isn't getting too many true physical games. So I will keep that series going for you all that like it. I know a lot of you subscribed to my channel for that reason. But anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button and notification bell. And until the next video, I will catch you all later.